Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy Majora Boy and welcome back to another video. Now I know I've not uploaded a video in a long time, 4 months to be precise. Now the reason for that was because I had my assignments in my school and I really did not get a lot of time to work on a video. But now that my vacations have started, here I am. So in today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys everything you need to know about the brand new M1 iPad Pros and what are my thoughts on it. So without any further wait, let's roll the intro and let's get right into it. Just like last year's iPad Pros, this year's Pros also come in two form factors, one being the 11-inch variant and one being the 12.9-inch variant. However, unlike last year, these two models do have a difference between them. That difference being their respective displays. The 11-inch Pro model has an LCD display which has a resolution of 2388 into 1668 with a PPI of 264 along with a peak brightness of 600 nits and the iPad Pro's amazing ProMotion technology which allows this display to have a refresh rate of 120Hz. Now if you look at the display specs, these are the exact same specifications as the last year's 11-inch Pro. However, this year the 12.9-inch iPad Pro gets the major display upgrade, which as I said earlier is the differentiating factor between this year's 11-inch and 12.9-inch Pro. The 12.9-inch iPad Pro has a mini LED display which Apple is marketing as the Liquid Retina XDR display. This display has a resolution of 2732 into 1668 along with a peak brightness of 1600 nits, a 1,000,000:1 contrast ratio, a 120Hz refresh rate and a PPI of 264. All of this makes the iPad's display on paper rival even a few OLED displays out there. Now due to that mini LED display, the 12.9-inch iPad Pro is a tad bit thicker than the 11-inch iPad Pro, coming in at 6.4mm in terms of thickness compared to the 11-inch which comes in at 5.9mm of thickness. Due to this, however, there is a new Magic Keyboard made for the 12.9-inch model to accommodate the slightly thicker chassis. Now that we're done talking about the display, let's talk about the main highlight of these new iPad Pros, and that is them being powered by the insanely powerful M1 chip. So for those of you who don't know what the M1 is, it's Apple's own custom silicon chip which they had introduced last year for their Mac lineup. It's an 8-core CPU which has 4 high performance cores and 4 high efficiency cores, which is paired with a powerful 8-core GPU and a 16-core neural engine. This chip not only delivered on amazing performance but also great battery life on the MacBooks, and now it is there in the iPad Pros too. So you can expect some insane performance and great battery life on the Pros as well. However, the chip isn't the only internal component that has gotten upgraded this year, because along with the chipset, the RAM has also been increased on these new models. So the 128GB, 256GB and 512GB on both the models comes with 8GB of RAM, whereas the 1TB and 2TB versions come with 16GB of RAM, which finally puts the iPad Pro's RAM capacity in laptop territory. As in the past, the iPads in general have had very little RAM. So it's good to see Apple change that this year with their Pro models. Now the past two iPad Pro generations have been having a Type-C port as their I/O, which is used for charging, transferring data and connecting different accessories to it. This year Apple has upgraded this port from a regular Type-C port to a Thunderbolt 4 port, which opens up a lot of possibilities for the new iPad Pros. The inclusion of a Thunderbolt 4 port will allow you to have higher data transfer speeds between your iPad Pro and your external drives, and also allow you to directly connect your iPad Pro to a Thunderbolt display and stream 6K video, which makes this year's iPad Pro the most Pro iPad Apple has ever made. Coming out to battery, the battery sizes of these new iPad Pro models haven't changed from the previous versions. Now due to the M1 being super power efficient, you can expect better battery life on the 11-inch iPad Pro. However, I am a bit worried about the 12.9-inch version due to that mini LED display, which may slightly reduce its battery performance. But the iPad Pros from the very beginning have had great battery life, so even with these changes, I personally think the battery life on both these models is going to be really good. Now the cameras on the iPad Pros have always been fantastic, and this year is no different. Just like the previous 2020 models, this year's iPad Pros also come with a rear-facing dual camera setup. It has a primary 12 megapixel shooter which has an aperture of f1.8 and a 10 megapixel ultra wide camera which has an aperture of f2.4 along with the LiDAR sensor that is used for better focusing of the cameras and AR related tasks. Coming over to the front facing camera, it has a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera which has an aperture of f2.2 with a field of view of 122 degrees. Due to this field of view, the new iPad Pros have a new mode called Center Stage, which allows the front facing camera to track you during video calls and make sure you always stay in shot even when you are moving around. Now if you were to add more people into the frame, then the camera will zoom out to accommodate them, and when the people exit the frame, it will zoom back in. And to top all of this off, the new iPad Pros also support 5G connectivity, which you can take advantage of if you live in a country that actually has 5G internet services. Now coming to pricing and release date, the iPad Pro 11-inch base variant starts off at the same price as the previous generation model, coming in at $799 with 128GB of storage and then maxing out at $1,899 with 2TB of storage. Whereas the 12.9-inch model starts off $100 more expensive, coming in at $1,099 with 128GB of storage and maxes out at 2TB of storage for $2,199. When it comes to the release date of these new iPad Pros, they will be releasing for the public on the 21st of May. However, if you have pre-ordered one of them or are looking to buy one after the 21st, you might face a few issues due to the global chip shortage that is happening right now. Due to which, if you have pre-ordered the iPad Pro, then you might get your order a bit late. Or if you're someone trying to buy the iPad Pro right now, you might face difficulties in finding one due to there being a limited supply. Now, what are my personal thoughts on the new iPad Pros and whether you should pick one up? So firstly, I feel like this year's iPad Pros are a true upgrade to the previous 2018 iPad Pro models. Because in my opinion, the 2020 iPad Pro models were really disappointing as they did not offer a lot over the 2018 ones. However, if you ask me, I'm really digging these new models a lot due to all the new features they are offering, especially the 11-inch model, because you're getting so much more from Apple's side without increasing the base price. Like the base price is the exact same as the 2020 model and the 2018 model, but at the same time you're getting just so much more. However, the only thing in my opinion that is holding me back from suggesting someone this iPad Pro at the moment is iPadOS. Now, don't get me wrong, iPadOS currently is way better than what it was back in 2019. However, it's still lacking things. For example, full-fledged pro apps on it for tasks like video editing or music production, or proper external monitor support. As said earlier in the video, the iPad Pro's Thunderbolt port will allow it to stream 6K video, but at the end of the day, you won't be able to fully utilize that due to iPadOS, as the screen will be only mirroring what your iPad is doing, and it will display your iPad screen in a 4:3 aspect ratio, giving you these black bars on the side. So if you really want to buy these new M1 iPad Pros, then I would highly suggest you guys waiting it out till WWDC, which is scheduled to happen in June of this year. As in my opinion, that will be the factor that truly determines whether these M1 iPad Pros are worth it or not. Now, if you really want an iPad Pro and you cannot wait till WWDC, then I would highly suggest the iPad Pro 2020. The iPad Pro 2020 is still a very capable iPad. It houses the A12Z chip in it, which is a slightly improved A12X chip. And as someone who's been using an iPad Pro which houses the A12X chip in it, I can say from experience that the iPad Pro 2020 is a really capable iPad. And if you are really in need of an iPad Pro right now, the 2020 is your best option. Well guys, that's all for today. Tell me down in the comments below what do you guys think about these new iPad Pros and whether you'll be picking one up. Do not forget to comment, as the YouTube algorithm really likes it and it helps in promoting my video to a larger audience. If you guys like this video, then please leave a big fat thumbs up on it. But if you loved it, then please subscribe to the channel for more content just like this one. And as always, I'll be signing off for today and I'll see you in the next one.